OK, next, when we think of pilots, we automatically think of flying aeroplanes and a very glamorous lifestyle. But did you know that pilots were around long before anyone even took to the skies?
Yes, river pilots use boats, not planes, and they've been working on all our major rivers for centuries. Rob Williams climbs aboard to tell us more.
The job is getting ships in and out of port in safety. This is the Collingwood, the latest pilot boat working on the Tyne. It cost about £1 million, has two enormous engines, and is purely to get the pilot on and off incoming and outgoing ships. There have been pilots on the Tyne and, of course, the Weir and the Tees, probably since Roman times, and the problems essentially have not changed. You go from a small boat on a tossing sea up onto a big ship. This is a bright day with a calm sea. Imagine what it must be like at, say, 3 in the morning in February with a gale blowing. It has changed a bit since these shots were taken in the 60s, but not much. The boats are different, the clothes are a bit more formal, and by the look of things, life jackets and safety tethers were not much regarded. The rope ladders, though, seem exactly the same. But especially with modern technology like radar, depth sounders and computers that can be updated in seconds, why are pilots needed at all?
A river pilot's there essentially for his local knowledge. They are, specially trained to know exactly where all the currents, the depths of water and every little idiosyncrasy with the river. They've got all that knowledge and they can assist the captain who knows his ship, hopefully.
You were telling me the other day about a startling statistic about deaths in the pilotage profession.
I've heard this one. I mean, I can't verify it myself, but the one I've heard is that there's a pilot lost, a pilot drowned, one every month throughout the world, which is quite high, but I suppose there is a very huge amount of pilotage operations carried out in every month throughout the world, so it's probably a very small figure in real terms.
With that cheerful thought, Alan's off again to bring in the Comet 3, a container ship of 4,169 tons and more than 300 feet long. Captain Sherban is an experienced mariner who now has to relinquish control of his ship to a complete stranger. He's understandably a little tense.
Pilot, he's in possession of good knowledge of the depths and everything, all local knowledges and the weather condition and the local, inside of the port. So we have to rely upon them.
And the pilots here on the Tyne do a good job?
Yeah.
Thank you.
And if I was in his seat, I'd be monosyllabic too. His ship, which is still his responsibility, is being threaded like a needle up the comparatively narrow river with a stranger's hand on the wheel, which I was disappointed to note isn't a wheel at all, but a teeny little joystick. We reach the container berth, which is difficult enough, you'd think, but the Comet 3 has to be berthed ready to leave, so it has to be turned through 180 degrees. This is not like parking a car. Alan has to apply power and rudder well before they actually take effect, and it's a ticklish business reversing 300-odd feet of ship into the quayside, with no brakes. Very, very impressive. And after that, it's back on the Collingwood, ready to do it all over again.
Very impressive. Rob Williams finding out about how much has changed and yet so much has stayed the same over the years.
Yeah, like the knowledge and experience bit for a start.
Can't have enough of that, can you?
Very well said, Pat. Very well said. Now,